Hello, good morning. Hello. All right, let me go ahead and put the link in all the places. It must be live because I just got an update that from my personal YouTube channel that I am indeed, so that's good. How's everyone doing this morning? Hopefully everyone's having a wonderful Tuesday. And I realize for many of you maybe just woke up. All right, so I just got to get the link in all the places. I know that in general we're a little bit slower on these spring break mornings, so I'll give a little extra time for everyone to get in so we can all say hi. All right. Got the link everywhere. Let's see who do we got. Hey, good morning, Gunika. Somebody else here whose name I don't see. So good morning to whoever you are. Happy to have you here. All right. How's everyone doing this morning? Are we good? Are we excited? Are we tired? What big spring breaks do we have? Good morning, Jacqueline. Hey, Miss Garcia. What big spring break plans do we have for today? My big plan for the day, right after this, I'm gonna change out of my nice clothes. I'm gonna get in my work clothes, and we're gonna take down, prune my citrus tree in the backyard. Gunika, you crocheted a hat? Well, that's exciting. Hats are hard. They're curves. That's very cool. Um, yeah, so I have this huge citrus tree in my backyard, and I don't really do much to it throughout the winter, but once it starts raining, that tree gets growing. So I gotta prune it a little bit today. So that's my big spring break plan. My dad's here. Hey, Dad. How's it going, Dad? How's the weather in Arizona? I'm sure it's hot. You don't have any citrus trees to prune today? That's also why I have my coffee in the to-go cup, because can't prune your trees outside without a coffee to keep you going, in my experience. Gunika, did you said you were crocheting the hat? Is the hat for you? Is the hat for somebody else? Um, that's really cool. Jacqueline, you're reviewing French on Rosetta Stone. That's awesome. Good for you. You already know so much more French than I do. My dad is going to be cleaning the backyard. Mom is in the house too. Temps only in the 80s. We're gonna hit 70 today, says the weather service. Gunaco's for you. That's awesome. Gunaco, is that part of your passion project or is that just for fun? Oh man, I cannot wait for the temperature to be in the mid 80s. That would make working in the yard so much better. Good morning, Marissa. Um, Dad, is mom watching too? Should I say hi to her? Hi, mom, in case you are also watching. It was for your passion project, but also for fun. Well, yeah, that's the whole point of the passion project is that it should be fun. So I'm glad. That's really cool. One of the things I need to do is I still need to put on. I made a Padlet. I need to put that link into Canvas. It's just like a place for us to show off the cool stuff that we've been doing for our passion projects. But I'll make sure to do that so that you can Share with us. I'd love to see it. Oh, hey, look, it is my mom. Hi, Mom. Oh, this is fun. My parents came live. All right. Well, this is exciting. Okay, so I'm gonna jump in. We'll do our book first, and then we'll do our poem. Um, so that'll be the plan. I decided for the book today that we were gonna go for a book in the public domain because really nobody can get mad at me for that. Can't copyright me when it's a non-copyrighted book. Oh, mom, you're working on surgical masks and aprons. Awesome. Yeah, that's my other big plan for today is I gotta go to the post office to send a bunch of packages, including mom. I'm sending you those patterns that you wanted. So I'll let you know when that's done. Okay. So the book that I'm talking about today is in the public domain. That means you can get it for free. You can find it everywhere. It's like on Google Books. But we're going to talk about Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. I found it on Hoopla. They have both the ebook and the audiobook. I know my mom's here today. She loves this book. It's a good one. I'm just going to put the name of it in the chat. Gosh, Gunica, was it you who was reading some Jane Austen? Somebody this year has been reading some Jane Austen books. But for Jane Austen, her probably most famous book is Pride and Prejudice. But I would say the second most famous is probably Sense and Sensibility. Gunica, that was you. Which one did you read? Was it Pride and Prejudice? I can't remember. Oh, or were you reading Persuasion? Persuasion is my favorite of the Jane Austen books. So Sense and Sensibility is about two sisters, Marianne and Eleanor. And it starts out, they are essentially being evicted from their homes. Or the last year, you did read Persuasion this year. Oh, I love Persuasion. It's so good. So if you liked Persuasion, you would also really like Sense and Sensibility. Because one of the really interesting things, it starts out they're being kicked out of their house because their father, Mr. Dashwood, has recently died, and their house is then given to their older half brother, a brother from a previous marriage. And he and his wife decide that they want to live in this house and that Mrs. Dashwood and her 3 daughters can't live there, right? So they have to find somewhere else to live. And a lot of the storyline is about the romance of these girls who are of age. Eleanor and Marianne are both of age. They have a younger sister, Margaret, who is not. And these two sisters, though they love each other deeply, have very different perspectives on the world and on life. And essentially, one functions from, she makes decisions from her head, and the other one from her heart, right? One with her sense and one with their sensibility. So it's a really fun book. And one of the things I like most about it is we see this with a lot of Jane Austen books. It's one of the things that I have liked the most in reading and studying Jane Austen, but that we see a lot in this one is that all of these marriages are not just about romance, but so much of it is about, for the women at least, about their actual well-being, right? Their financial well-being. Because even though when the father dies, his house doesn't go to his wife or even to his daughters, right? It goes on to a male relative. In this case, it is his son, his eldest child anyway, but we see it also in Pride and Prejudice, right? There's this big fear that as women, we won't be able to inherit property, which is really the only one of the only ways you make money. So it was a major challenge. So I'm going to read a portion of it. I'm actually going to skip the first couple of pages. Are sort of all about this backstory about how this house um, it got taken over from person to person and why the women are being told to leave. But then we get to a description of the girls, and I think that this is so fun. Eleanor, this eldest daughter, whose advice was so effectual, possessed with a strength of understanding and coolness of judgment, which qualified her, though only 19, to be the counselor of her mother, and enabled her frequently to counteract to the advantage of them all that eagerness of mind in Mrs. Dashwood, which must generally have led to imprudence. She had an excellent heart. Her disposition was affectionate, and her feelings were strong, but she knew how to govern them. It was a knowledge which her mother had yet to learn, and which one of her sisters had resolved never to be taught. Mary Ann's abilities were, in many respects, quite equal to Eleanor's. She was sensible and clever, but eager in everything. Her sorrows, her joys could have no moderation. She was generous, amiable, interesting. She was everything but prudent. The resemblance between her and her mother was strikingly great. Eleanor saw with concern the excess of her sister's sensibility, but by Mrs. Dashwood it was valued and cherished. They encouraged each other now in the violence of their affliction. The agony of grief which overpowered them at first was voluntarily renewed, was sought for, was created again and again. They gave themselves up wholly to their sorrow, seeking increase of wretchedness in every reflection that could afford it, and resolved against ever admitting consolation in future. Eleanor, too, was deeply afflicted, but still she could struggle, she could exert herself, she could consult with her brother, could receive her sister-in-law on her arrival, and treat her with proper attention, and could strive to rouse her mother to similar exertion, and encourage her to similar forbearance. Margaret, the other sister, was a good-humored, well-disposed girl, but as she had already imbibed a good deal of Marianne's romance, without having much of her sense, she did not at 13 bid fair to equal her sisters at a more advanced period of life. So, those are the characters that we see in Sense and Sensibility. These sort of four female figures who go on to struggle in love and in life, and try to figure out just like how do they maintain their life now that Mr. Dashwood is gone. So it's a really fun book. And much like pretty much any Jane Austen book, you know that it's going to have some challenges, some strife, but ultimately is going to end up with a happy ending. And that is sort of fun, especially right now in these times. Okay, so the other thing we have for today is a poem. And again, I'm just going to read the poets.org poem of the day. I really liked this one. I was talking yesterday about nature imagery, and this one is less like about nature, but it does use some really fun nature imagery that I like. So this one is called Fool's Gold by Ted Mathis. I'm going to go put that in the chat. And there's some really fun imagery and also comparisons. So for my seniors who are practicing with poetry and still working on those AP skills, those are the two that I noticed here that might be really helpful. So, Fool's Gold. This morning I love everyone, even Jerome, the neighbor I hate, and the sun. And the sun has pre-warmed my bucket seat for the drive up Arsenal Street with the hot car effect, a phenomenon climatologists use to explain global warming to senators and kids. I love the limited edition swingline gold stapler in the oil change lounge, which can, like a poem, affix anything to anything on paper. One sheet of paper, for instance, for that cloud of gnats, one for this lady's pit mix, wagging his tail so violently, I fear he'll hurt his hips. One sheet for glittered lip balm, for eye contact, Bitcoin, extortion, and the imperfect tense. Sheets for each unfulfilled wish I left in a penny in a mall fountain. Sun spills into the lounge through the window decal in geometric Tetris wedges. I have a sheet for Tetris. Its random sequence of pieces falling toward me in this well, like color coded aspects of the life I neglected to live, for the pleasure of making line after line disappear. The gold stapler has 20 sheet capacity, so I straighten my stack on the reception counter and staple the day together with an echoing tonk. So there you go. That's our poem. Um, that's a fun one. Um, I really like these poem-a-days. I really recommend them. If you're interested in reading more poetry, it gives you sort of just that one poem a day to read and to think about, um, and hopefully get some good practice on if that's what you're thinking about, if that's what you're working on. And if nothing else, it's good exposure to more poems. Um, Spoiler alert for those of you, really for all of us, we're all going to be working on poetry when we get back from spring break. So as part of why we're doing these poems a day, they're really good practice for what we're going to be doing in class. So there you go. Cool. What other questions do we have? Comments? How are we feeling? Any big plans for today, our second day of spring break? I know Gunika, you already said that you were finishing uh, a crocheted hat. I'm curious if you're going to keep crocheting. Like, do you have a new project on the horizon? Jacqueline, I know you said you're working on French. You must be in French too, I would think. I would assume. But yeah, I'm curious what else we're doing today. I talked about how I'm gonna be taking care of my citrus trees. My mom and dad, who are in the chat today, have helped me with those citrus trees before, so they know what a project I'm taking on. Um, Jacqueline, you're in French too. Awesome. You said that you're practicing on Rosetta Stone. Is that for class or is that just for fun to practice? Oh, and then you don't have any more crocheting projects yet, Gunika? That's cool. Do you also know how to knit? I've tried both and I found knitting was easier. Oh, Rosetta Stone is free for the next 90 days. Well, that's awesome. That's some really helpful practice right there then. Yeah, right, Miss Garcia? Like, I love a good free. That's good to know. You don't knit too, Gunika? Well, yeah, Jacqueline, if it's free for 90 days, that's extra convenient. That's awesome. Oh, Marissa, you're working on your passion project because you're gonna deliver gifts on Saturday. Oh, that's so sweet. That's awesome. Miss Garcia, you're deep cleaning and then rearranging your living room? That's so exciting. I feel like that is sort of like just where we are in life is just like rearranging furniture is now the most exciting activity. But also it really is. When we're gonna spend this much time at home, you gotta have your house the way you want it. Oh, Jacqueline, you've been teaching your brother. Jacqueline, is your brother, is he at MHHS? Is he a freshman or is he younger? I know I saw him while you were setting up your what's it called? Your Unit 6 project, the museum. Yes, Dad, you can make any poem or book request that you want for any day of the week. Your brother's an 8th grader. Awesome. Where is this couch gonna go? No one knows. Ms. Garcia, we know that at my house the couch can only go in one place because it is monstrous. But that's awesome. Oh, he's an 8th grader, but he takes math 1, so that's why he's at the high school. That makes sense. Okay. Cool, cool. Dad, are you gonna keep coming live on Tuesdays on your non-golf day? On your rest day? Your day of rest? Miss Garcia, I'm just, like, looking back on this, like, where's your couch gonna go? How many places can your couch actually go in your living room? Like, I'm remembering it, and I vaguely I know we didn't spend a ton of time in your living room, but, like, I vaguely remember it being sort of like my couch where it is very large. I'm curious if there are that many configurations it can go into. Mom, you want us to do poetry of Rumi? Do you have any, like, specific requests? I'll start taking notes. I'll make a list. It depends on how good I am. Oh, Dad. Always trying to tease. Or effectively teasing, I suppose. Oh, okay. Your couch is 2 pieces, Miss Garcia. That would make it easy. It depends if you can replace Marissa as the favorite student. That's hilarious. I don't have a favorite student. I love them all equally. But you are probably my favorite dad. Does that count? Because I feel like it should. Mom, you'll send me some poems. Cool. I'll read whatever you want me to read. I'm here. I'm doing it. This is what it is. So top 5 at least. Honestly, any of y'all who come in, and make it so that I'm not talking to myself for 30 minutes at 8 o'clock in the morning are all my favorites, because that would have been real sad and lonely to talk by myself. But it's fun to get to talk to you all uh, before I have to, like, start my day and do, like, grown-up things, like cut off pieces of citrus trees and, weed my yard and go to the post office. I'm over it. Okay. All right. Y'all are awesome. I think maybe my favorite thing of this morning is we have as many, like, grown-ups, adults, teachers, and parents, as we do students. So, there you go. Students, I feel like you're really missing, um oh, Mom, we did a Robert Frost, didn't we? Oh, no, I think we did that in my test stream. I read a Robert Frost. Okay, we can do some good Robert Frost. Students, I really feel like you're missing an opportunity here. My parents are live on the stream. Like, you could be asking all kinds of questions right now. Just saying. Don't, but you could. All right. So it looks like we're sort of wrapping up here. I know Miss Garcia has to get going to her own stream starting at 8:30. Y'all are funny. Hi, Miss Lindsay's parents. Y'all are cute. Um, but hopefully we're gonna have a great day. Working on some of our passion projects, having fun, doing some good work at our houses while we all have to hang out in our houses. um, and so hopefully that goes really well for us all. Um, have a great Tuesday, everyone. Um, Mom and Dad, I'll talk to you later, I guess. Mom, I'll call you after I go to the post office. All right. And I'll see you all tomorrow. I'll be here again, 8 a.m. live to say hi. All right. Bye, everyone. Always remember who you are, what you represent, and to show your Mustang pride. See you tomorrow.